Piers Morgan, weeknights at 9 on CNN.
Michael Jackson was a grown man, 50-year-old man, who for decades had taken drugs and was determined to do so right up to the point that he died. What is your reaction to that?
Piers, propofol is used every minute of the day in hospitals all over the world. You talk to any anesthesiologist who's skilled at using propofol, they'll tell you it's a marvelous drug, it's a safe drug if used properly. The problem here is Conrad Murray wanted to make a lot of money, wanted to have a lot of fame, wanted to embark on the biggest comeback in entertainment history, and he ordered, as I understand it, 4 gallons of propofol, was giving it to Michael Jackson without the proper equipment to monitor his heart rate, his heart, his circulation. He was absolutely derelict, he was negligent, he's lost his license, I believe, in 3 states or more. And to blame Michael Jackson because he was using a drug that is considered very safe when administered properly is ridiculous. He shirked his responsibilities. He tried to cover up the crime. He never told the paramedics he'd given him propofol. He never told the police. He went to UCLA Medical Center, didn't tell them he'd given propofol. He blames everybody but himself.
Well, I certainly think that it points that Jackson is culpable for his own death, or at least to a large degree.
Where
that
do
it
you,
wasn't.
Right, where do you, as Conrad Murray's attorney, where do you see his own culpability as being inarguable?
Well, I believe that he may have done some things that were viewed as negligent, but I do not believe that he is responsible for Michael Jackson's death in any way.
Because you think that Michael Jackson was 50 years old, he'd been taking these kind of drugs for a very long time and was quite persistent in making sure that he got them.
Exactly. Perhaps my client should have walked away when he encountered the situation that he was unaware of when he left his practice and became Jackson's physician. But in that case, Jackson would have gotten the drugs from someone else, and my client tried to help him.
What do you expect the verdict to be from all that we've heard in terms of evidence?
Well, I think there are 2 questions, Piers. One, did AEG, a large, sophisticated $8 billion corporation with a battery of sophisticated lawyers and consultants, did they assume the risk of Conrad Murray? Did they negligently hire him or supervise him or retain his services because they wanted to be part of this huge comeback, the biggest in entertainment history? And there are some emails where they talk about, they're putting pressure on him allegedly through payment of his salary, which was $150,000 a month. They agreed to pay him. They sent an agreement for him to sign where they agreed to provide all the medical equipment and a medical assistant to him. They now say this was part of a negotiation that was never finalized. There are also emails where they want to remind him who's paying his salary. There's an email where they say they investigated his background. They then turned around and said they had not really investigated him. Why did they think they had to investigate him? And why did they even mention the term? I think in the end, AEG is going to be held responsible. If they are responsible, then the question is, what are the damages? I knew Michael Jackson. I took over his criminal defense 9 months before his trial started. The trial itself was 5 months. This is the only man I ever met in my lifetime who could get up on a given day and spur of the moment, go anywhere in the world and make millions and millions of dollars. I think that the damage award could be close to $1 billion if they find that AEG assumed these risks and assumed these responsibilities. And I think the plaintiffs are going to win.